The world of EVs is forever changing, with more and more models coming out, as well as car manufacturers electrifying existing models. It seems pretty hard to keep up, but for me, no EV stands out quite so much than the all-new Nissan ARIYA. This is the all-new Nissan ARIYA 100% electric crossover, which stands out from the crowd with its bold stance and its very sophisticated looks. In this video, we're going to be delving deeper into the design, into the tech, and how it drives out on the road. But first, if you want to see more car reviews and more car content from the latest cars in the industry, then subscribe to the Holdcroft YouTube channel. And if you're looking for your next car, then head over to the Holdcroft website. So then, the Nissan ARIYA, let's dive straight into the design, because look at the front end of this car. What a beastly looking EV. I said it in the intro about how it stands out on the road. This EV will sure turn heads. Not necessarily just because of the size, it's got quite a bold stance, but the whole design. I mean, the LED headlights, which if we just flick them on just slightly, look at them indicator lights. Some probably the biggest indicator lights in the car industry. I mean, I love how they go down into this front grille, which incorporates traditional Japanese Kumiko pattern, which I think is a nice touch for Nissan, going back to their Japanese heritage. And that Kumiko pattern is seen throughout the whole of the ARIYA, in the rear headlights, in the interior, but we'll delve deeper into that later in the video. But overall, just look how stunning this car is from, just looking at it head on. It looks amazing, little dips in the bonnet. Obviously, I mentioned about this front grille, the LED headlights that gave us a little wink there. That was quite nice. And then down here, you have the air vents to help cool the battery down. But ultimately, I just think that makes it look so sporty. It looks so sleek. Coming to the side, and again, it's just a very classy and stunning design. You only have one little line that goes right across. There's not much going on with the door panels, but does it really need it? I don't think so. I think the fact that there's only really two little dips in the bonnet, I think if you maybe had more bevels here and sort of aggressive lines, it might take away from the whole sort of sleek style that Nissan have gone for. You also get 19-inch alloy wheels, which come as standard. They're actually called Aero Cover alloy wheels. Also like the chrome strip, the privacy glass at the back. Overall, just a nice car, isn't it? Coming to the back, and Nissan certainly haven't cut corners in terms of the design. It's not like they've just thrown a really nice design at the front and they've sort of forgotten about the rest of the car, because the back of the car, again, just adds to that whole premium and stunning looking design of the Nissan ARIYA. You have a really nice spoiler with little sort of slots in here, give it that really sporty SUV edge. A little lip here, which obviously makes the rear headlight really eccentric. I also like the fact that not just put the usual Nissan badge at the back like they have done across the range. I like the fact that it's just in this chrome right in here, Nissan right across. I think that really complements this really long LED strip for your rear headlights. Also, the bumper at the bottom pretty much matches up to the one up the front for the air vents. I do think that's a really nice touch. Right at the back of the car, we might as well talk about the space in the boot. One thing I do like to point out, the fact that it's fully electric, which just adds to the whole premium feel of the car. What you have here is up to 466 litres of boot capacity. It's worth pointing out that the top spec ARIYA, the 87 kilowatt hour battery size with the EForce technology, only comes with 406 litre boot capacity. But that less capacity also it means for a really fun driving experience, because the Nissan ARIYA of EForce technology can provide 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds and up to 600 newton meters of torque. 600 newton meters of torque. I mean, if we just test it out, you can see you get thrown back into your seat. For a car of this size, it's amazing how powerful it can be. And with that EForce technology, you don't just get power, you also get control. You see, the Nissan ARIYA has two battery size options, as well as the bigger battery size having the option of having EForce technology implemented. Now, this revolutionary technology by Nissan allows for all-wheel drive of the ARIYA due to a dual motor system. EForce technology also means that you get independent wheel torque, which allows to counteract over understeering. So despite it providing a very powerful performance, you also get a very comfy driving experience. Now, coming on to the other battery sizes that Nissan ARIYA comes with without the EForce technology. So it comes with two battery size options, a 63 kilowatt hour and 87 kilowatt hour. The 63 offers 250-mile electric range and 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, whereas the 87 kilowatt-hour battery can do upwards of 329-mile range, with also being the ability to get 217 miles in just 30 minutes. So it's obvious that whether you have the 63 kilowatt-hour, the 87 or the 87 with EForce technology, then you're going to get a very powerful and comfy driving experience. A driving experience which takes place in a very premium and luxury interior. I mean, just look at it. How nice is the interior of this car? I feel like when it comes to EVs, car manufacturers feel like they might have to ramp it up a bit, put in, you know, fifth gear when it comes to the design of an EV, just because they're not necessarily a fan's favourite. Nissan have definitely done that when it comes to the ARIYA. I mean, just look at it. Look how nice it is. I mentioned before about the ARIYA implementing traditional Kumiko Japanese design, and you can see it throughout the interior. You know, on this pattern on the seats, you also get it in the corner of your windscreen. Up here it also has it, as well as on the doors and down in your footwell. It has a nice Kumiko pattern with the light coming through the back. I just think, how unique is that? I'm really a big fan of this. You know, the seats are part leather, part fabric, you know, that pattern just makes it stand out. And I also like the fact that they are fully electric, so no matter how big, tall, whatever, you're going to be comfy. You can configure these seats in so many ways. I mean, if you want to have a nap on the side of the road, you know, on a long journey, while you're waiting for your car to charge, you can quite easily do that because, oh, you know what? This isn't half comfy. It's also worth pointing out that these seats also have lumbar support, which means that if you need, you know, more space or more compression on your back, you can quite easily do that. I also like the fact this comes with wireless phone charging, and all you have to do is slot your phone in there, and a light will ping up once it's charging. And I just think, not only does that protect your phone, not only is it really easy to get in and out, it just means you're not going to be distracted by it because it's covered by this center armrest, which also comes with a little bit of storage. Coming on to your tech, and you can quite clearly see you have two massive screens because you have two 12.3-inch screens. Obviously, the infotainment system comes with usual built-in navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc, etc. I also like the fact that in your driver display, you can actually display your navigation. So say if you want to have your music on, you know, your radio, you don't necessarily have to have your sat-nav on that. You can just put it on here, which I do think is good. Coming onto the back seats then, and the luxury feel definitely carries on with the back. You know, you have the same style seating that you do in the front. Lots of space, and obviously with being an EV, you know, that centre column, so the floor is nice and flat. Just makes it a much more comfy drive. I mean, you can easily get 3 rear passengers, whether they're children, whether they're adults. Also, the panoramic sunroof is just such a nice touch. It lets in so much light. It makes the car ultimately feel a lot more luxury. To be able to sit here, it's a nice place to be for a rear passenger. Obviously, you have a leather-wrapped armrest in the centre with 2 cup holders, which just is somewhat necessary in it for a long journey. Just makes it a lot more comfy. Obviously, you've got more Kumiko design along the door cards. Overall, there's not really much to complain about the interior of this car. I keep saying it, but I'm a massive fan. So then, 3 things that I really like about the Nissan ARIYA. First is how much space and storage you get being a driver. Obviously, you have your glove box there, then you have a little shelf there. 2 cup holders, obviously your phone slot for your wireless phone charging. How much floor space there is, obviously because of being an EV, you have a complete flat floor, and the fact that the center console is this far back means you can stretch your leg out here on the long journey because, you know, you don't need your left foot when you're driving an EV, so you can stretch out here. Oh, there's so much room. It's ideal for a long road trip. Number 2 is the panoramic sunroof. On a summer's day, imagine how nice this would be to have it all open. And also, as a rear passenger, this makes the car feel so much lighter, feel so much airier, just adds to the whole premium feel of the car. And the third thing that I really like about the Nissan ARIYA is, say you've just pulled up at the shops, pulled up somewhere, and you hopped out and you realise, oh, for God's sake, I've left all the windows open, the kids have left the windows open at the back. Well, you don't have to climb in, turn the engine on, put them all up. All you have to do is simply hold the lock button for a little second, and all the windows and also the panoramic sunroof will shut and fully close. Just so handy. So then we touched about how well the ARIYA performs. You know, with that EForce technology with up to 600 Nm of torque, you do get a really fun driving experience, especially with it being a large SUV. You might not expect that looking at the exterior. You won't really see it as a car that you're going to have a fun driving experience, but you certainly get out of an ARIYA. But apart from it being fun, it's ultimately just a really luxury and comfy drive. You know, with it being quite a big car, you want to be able to see over the bonnet, and you can quite easily do that with the fully electric seats. In terms of practicality, you also have lots of driving safety and convenience features, including adaptive cruise control with NaviLink, which somewhat means the car drives itself. I mean, you do obviously have to pay attention to the road and keep your hands on the steering wheel, but it also means that you'll stay in the middle of the road. If the car in front of you slows down, your car will slow down with you. And also, with being a large car, you don't want to be crashing this or bumping it when you're parking. This car also comes with 360 parking cameras. You also have multiple driving modes. You have normal, obviously, sport and eco. Now, if you put it in sport modes, you know, if you have that EForce technology, you get a powerful and fun driving experience. But you get that with sport, because if you just flick it into sport, you feel the car almost seems like it cuts half its weight. You flick it in sport and it just frees up. It feels like you get so much more from that electric motor. When you do put it into eco modes, you do feel like the car gets a bit heavier, but ultimately that just means that you don't have much more aggressive acceleration. You know, if you need to get more out of your electric range, put it in eco and then also put e-pedal step on. Now, if you've not heard of e-pedal step, well, its technology essentially means that you can drive the car just by using an accelerator. Because if you take your foot off the accelerator, then the car will naturally brake for you. Don't come to a complete stop, it probably brings you down to about 6-7 miles an hour. You do have to press the brake for it to fully stop, but it just makes it so much easier to drive. So then there you have it, the Nissan ARIYA, an 100% electric crossover that not only stands out on the road but can actually perform very well on the road. With that EForce technology Nissan have implemented in the top spec of the ARIYA, you get 0 to 60 in just 5.7 seconds and with 600 Newton meters of torque. That EForce technology also means you get independent wheel torque, allowing for much better control along with that very powerful performance. But EForce technology aside, the 63 kilowatt hour battery and 87 kilowatt hour battery also means that you get very good electric mile range and you also get fast recharging. Not only that, but you'll be driving on the road in style, because that interior is one of the most unique styling interiors on the market currently available. If you watched the video and thought, you know what, I want to give that Nissan ARIYA a try, then head over to the Holdcroft Nissan website. Link will be in the description. Here you can find the contact details for all 3 Holdcroft Nissan dealerships, as well as more information about the Nissan ARIYA are currently available. And with all that being said, I'm off now to enjoy my very luxury drive in a Nissan ARIYA. See you in the next one.